I'm honored to have you here, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you for choosing our video on Erich von Schmidt. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Erich von Schmidt, May 28, 1931, February 2, 2007, was an American singer and guitarist, songwriter, painter and illustrator, and Grammy Award recipient. He was associated with the folk boom of the late years and early years and a key part of the Cambridge folk music scene. As a singer and guitarist, he was considered to be the leading specialist in country blues in Cambridge at the time, the counterpart of Greenwich Village's Dave Van Ronk. Von Schmidt co-authored with Jim Rooney Baby, Let Me Follow You Down, the illustrated story of the Cambridge folk years. Turning our focus to biography, let's explore its key elements. Von Schmidt's father, Harold von Schmidt, was a Western painter who did illustrations for the Saturday Evening Post. Von Schmidt began selling his own artwork while he was still a teenager. Following a stint in the army, he won a Fulbright scholarship to study art in Florence. He moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts, in 1957, where he painted and became part of the coffeehouse scene. Von Schmidt shared his large repertoire of traditional music, passing them along to new performers who were developing a more modern version of folk music. He influenced Tom Rush, with whom he revived and arranged the traditional song Wasn't That a Mighty Storm? About the 1900 hurricane that destroyed Galveston, Texas. When he met Bob Dylan, the two traded harmonica licks, drank red wine and played croquet. Dylan eagerly absorbed von Schmidt's voluminous knowledge of music, including folk, country and the blues. I sang a bunch of songs, and, with that sponge-like mind of his, he remembered almost all of them when he got back to New York, von Schmidt said in the Boston Globe. Von Schmidt is widely and erroneously credited as the author of the song, Baby, Let Me Follow You Down, which was for years a staple of Dylan's musical catalogue. In a spoken introduction to the song on his 1962 self-titled debut album, Dylan jokingly mentioned that he first heard the song from Rick von Schmidt and told of meeting him in the green pastures of Harvard University. In fact, von Schmidt had adapted the song from Blind Boy Fuller and credited Reverend Gary Davis as author of 3/4 of the song. His 1979 book about the Cambridge scene is titled after the song. Among his best-known and performed original compositions is the song Joshua Gone Barbados, which depicts Ebenezer Joshua, the head of Labour Union and head of the government of St. Vincent Island, vacationing during a time of labour strife leading indirectly to the deaths of 3 men. The accuracy of von Schmidt's characterization of Joshua's involvement in the incident has been disputed. Given that Mr. Joshua died poor and remains a revered figure on the island, his depiction in the song is probably less sympathetic than it should be. Nonetheless, the song remains a powerful evocation of the plight of the poor people of St. Vincent. In 1963, von Schmidt and Richard Faria recorded in London's Doe Bells Jazz Record Store, with Dylan on harmonica. 2 years later, the folk blues of Erich von Schmidt appeared atop a pile of records on the cover of Dylan's album Bringing It All Back Home. In May 1964, Dylan visited von Schmidt at his home in Sarasota, Florida, and recorded several songs there, including an early version of Mr. Tambourine Man. The recordings were released in 2014 as part of Dylan's 50th anniversary collection 1964. In the liner notes for von Schmidt's 1969 smash album, Who Knocked the Brains Out of the Sky, SRS 67,124 notes, which also appeared on a cover sticker for von Schmidt's 1972 poppy album Second Right Third Row, Dylan wrote, "Of course we had heard about Erich von Schmidt for many years. The name itself had become a password. Eventually, after standing in line to meet him, there it was his doorstep, a rainy day, and he greeted his visitors, inviting them in. He was told how much they liked Grizzly Bear, and he then invited the whole bunch to the club, where he was about to perform the thing live. Come on down to the club, he said, I'm about to perform it live. We accepted the invitation. And that is what his record is. An invitation. An invitation to the glad, mad, sad, iting, exciting, frightening, crabby, happy, enlightening, hugging, chugging world of Erich von Schmidt. For here is a man who can sing the bird off the wire and the rubber off the tire. He can separate the men from the boys and the note from the noise, the bridle from the saddle and the cow from the cattle. He can play the tune of the moon, the why of the sky and the commotion from the ocean. Yes, he can. In this part of the video, we'll be delving deeper into artist and analyzing its key components. Von Schmidt had a parallel career as a painter and created album covers for Baez, Siska Houston, John Renmon, Reverend Gary Davis, the Blue Velvet Band, Jackie Washington Landren, and for James Baldwin's readings. He also created the cover for the Blues Project Compendium of White Blues Performers Electra EKL 264, 1964. Von Schmidt illustrated a 1973 book of 25 ghost stories called The Haunting of America by Gene Anderson. In the final 30 years of his life, von Schmidt recorded only 2 records and instead focused on his art career. 4 years before his death, von Schmidt painted his last epic of American history. The canvas subject was of Lewis and Clark's Corps of Discovery honoring its bicentennial. He also continued work on his Giants of the Blues series of paintings. Von Schmidt also illustrated numerous children's books, including a number of collaborations with Sid Fleischman. Get ready for a thought-provoking discussion as we delve into awards and legacy and its impact on our understanding. Von Schmidt was known for an exuberant musical style that he liked to apply to American folk classics. Eric's got that wild spirit, and he doesn't water the music down for polite society, Ramblin' Jack Elliott told the Boston Globe in 1996. Von Schmidt's music has been recorded by Travis McRae and Jeff Buckley. In 2000, the same year he was diagnosed with throat cancer, he was honored with the ASCAP Foundation Lifetime Achievement Award at an event fittingly held at Club Passim, his old stomping ground when it was named Club 47. The highlight of the event was a reunion of the Jim Kweskin Jug Band including Maria Mulder, Jeff Mulder, Fritz Richmond, and, for the first time in over 20 years, Jim Kweskin. In 1997, he won a Grammy Award for his work on a compilation album entitled Anthology of American Folk Music, Vol. 1-3. He painted up until his death and completed an epic mural of the Battle of the Alamo. Von Schmidt was twice divorced and had 2 daughters. He suffered a stroke in August 2006 and died 6 months later, at the age of 75. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards compilations. Comfort to Sing, Pathways of Sound, 1963 The Blues Project, Electra, 1964 Folklore Jamboree, Prestige Records, 1964 The Newport Folk Festival, 1965 Vanguard Records, 1965 Take a Trip with Me, Psychedelic Hits, Prestige Records, 197 Bleecker and McDougall, The Folk Scene of the Electra, 1984 Blues in the Bottle, Big Beat Records, 1988 Troubadours of the Folk Era, Vol. 1, Rhino Records, 1992 Blues with a Feeling Newport Folk Festival Classics, Vanguard, 1993 The Prestige Folklore Years, Vol. 1, Prestige Records, 1995 The Prestige Folklore Years, Vol. 2, Prestige Records, 1995 The Acoustic Highway Collection, The Road to Country Rock, EMI, 1996 Blues in the Sun, Vol. 7, Blues Blue, Blues White, The Bluesville Years, Prestige Records, 1996 Blues with a Feeling, Part 2, Vanguard Records, 1997 Washington Square Memoirs, The Great Urban Folk Boom, Rhino Records, 2001 Evening at Greasy Spoon Diner, Vine Records, 2002. Remember, knowledge is power. Keep learning, growing, and exploring.